Rational numbers, adding and subtracting. To work 6.3 plus negative 12.45, think to yourself how you would answer 6 plus a negative 12. They have different signs, so you would subtract and get 6 and keep the negative sign. It works the same way here. So you recognize that you have different signs. You're going to subtract, and you know, you can put in the 0 if you need, and you know that you're going to keep the negative sign, so negative 6.15. It works the same way for fractions. You see that the signs are different, negative 7 and 5/8 plus a positive 4 and 1/4. You have more negatives than you do positives. I suggest you underline the one you have more of. Put that one on top, the one that you have more of. Subtract down. You're only subtracting so that you can find the difference because their signs are different. Change to like denominators and subtract 3 and 3/8. So the answer is 3 and 3/8, but is it positive or negative? Well, we know it's negative because you had more negatives than positives to begin with. For subtraction, you want to change your subtraction to addition and change your sign of the second number. So negative 2.3, that the first one stays the same, plus a positive 8.44. Now we're going to work this problem. You can see that we have more positives than negatives, so I'd underline the one you have more of. Our signs don't match, so we're going to have to find the difference. Subtract down 6.14. And we know that we need to look back up, and we have more positives than negatives, so it's going to be a positive 6.14, 6 and 1400ths. This is a subtraction problem, so we want to change it to addition and change the sign of the second number. Now we're going to work the problem negative 2 and 2/5 plus a positive 5 and 3/10. Your signs don't match, so you need to figure out the one you have more of. You have more positives. So put the one you have more of on top and find the difference, the 2 and 2/5. Now you're going to need to change to like denominators. Bring over your whole numbers. You're going to keep the tenths here, and this becomes 4/10. We can't take 3 minus 4/10, so we're going to have to borrow. So we're going to borrow from the 5, and it becomes a 4. But we get 10/10 here when we borrow. So now we have 4 and 13/10, and now we can subtract our 2 and 4/10. We get 9/10, 2 and 9/10. And we know it's positive because we had more positives than negatives, so our answer is 2 and 9/10. Here are some practice problems. Put the video on pause, work the problems, and then we'll check them. On this first problem, we had negatives plus more negatives, so we found the sum and it stayed negative. On the second problem, we had different signs. We had more positives than negatives, so we found the difference. We had to change to like denominators here of 20. Then we could subtract down, and it's a positive 1 and 1/20. On the third one, we had to add the opposite. Then we had more negatives than positives, so we put that one on top. 16.30 minus 12.45 gave us a difference of 3.85, but we know it was negative because we have more negatives than positives. And on the last one, we had to add the opposite, change to addition, change the sign of the second number. Again, we had different signs, so we had to find the difference. We have more negatives than positives, so put the 6 and 1/4 on top, and subtract 4 and 2/5. We changed to like denominators, which were 20ths, and subtracted down. We got a difference of 1 and 17/20ths, but we knew it was negative because we originally had more negatives than positives. So negative 1 and 17/20ths.